Oh, you don't? I also don't know. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajapacharya Bhaktivedanta A.C. Bhaktivedanta Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 47, text. Hold on. Oh yeah, the text 36, yes. Maya Veshya Mano Kritsnam Vimukta Shesha Vrittiyat Anusmarantyo Mam Nityam Achiran Mam Upaishyata. Maya Veshya Manakritsnam Vimukta Shesha Vrittiyat Anusmarantyo Mam Nityam Achiran Mam Upaishyata. Maya Veshya Manakritsnam Vimukta Shesha Vrittiyat Anusmarantyo Mam Nityam Achiran Mam Upaishyata. Devotees? aveshya manakritsnam vimukta deshak. Mai, in me. Aveshya, absorbing. Manaha, your minds. Kritsnam, entire. Vimukta, having given up. Ashesha, all. Vritti, its material functions. Yet, because. Anusmarantya, remembering. Mam, me. Nityam, constantly. Achirat, soon. Mam, me. Upaishyata, you will obtain. Translation. Because your minds are totally absorbed in me and free from all other engagement, you remember me always, and so you will very soon have me again in your presence. Please repeat. Because your minds are totally absorbed in me and okay, we can read it together. Because your minds are totally absorbed in me and free from all other engagement, you remember me always, and so you will very soon have me again in your presence. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Pashyatya Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamshcha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamshcha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'll read the commentaries of the Acharyas on this verse. But first, just to give a little context. So Uddhava is now telling the message from Krishna to the gopis. And the last couple of verses, Krishna said, "But the actual reason why I, the beloved object of your sight, have stayed far away from you is that I wanted to intensify your meditation upon me and thus draw your minds closer to me." When her lover is far away, a woman thinks of him more than when he is present before her. And today's verse, because your minds are totally absorbed in me and free from all other engagement, you remember me always, and so you will very soon have me again in your presence. So this is the message that the gopis wanted to hear from Krishna, that he will return. He's promising very soon you will have me again in your presence because your minds are totally absorbed in me. You're always thinking about me. You're always remembering me, and you're free from all material engagements. You're completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary is, "O Uddhava," this is a conversation that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is making between Uddhava and the gopis. So the gopis are saying to Uddhava before these messages, these last messages came up, they're saying, "Oh Uddhava, that message also you should keep in the treasure box of your heart. Though now Krishna is enjoying with the women of Mathura, sometime in the future he will be far from their eyes. At that time, you can give them this message to them. But right now, this message is unacceptable in Vraja." They're talking about the previous message where Krishna was saying to the gopis, just meditate on me. I'm the Paramatma in everyone's heart. I'm everywhere. And they're saying, this is not acceptable in Vraja. Previously, even when Krishna was present in Vraj and visible to our eyes, and then was absent for a moment, that moment felt like 100 yugas. During that period of separation, appearing like one yuga, the gopis would have brought Krishna near with their minds thousands and thousands of times. So when the gopis spoke irreverently in this way, Uddhava replied, "O women, if this message does not appeal to you, then hear another message from me. I have brought many messages." Again, he distributed Krishna's words to them. "As you have completely rejected objects like house and husband, your minds concentrate upon me, Krishna, and you constantly remember me. Because of this, you will very soon attain my personal presence." And Jiva Goswami writes, "Having given instructions to this extent, Krishna again considers, I've given 3 solutions, but if the gopis consider the aprakata manifestation with respect, they will not be enthusiastic to control their minds and meditate on it. I will have to create a solution in the prakata manifestation." That means prakata means like what's like Krishna visible, present, and aprakata means he's not visible to our eyes, but he's there. So Krishna's thinking, I have to come there personally. Thinking in this way, my whimsy should be destroyed after some time by their insistence. He then speaks this verse. In this verse and the next verse, Krishna repeats the word me 2 or 3 times. This refers to Krishna and excludes any other form. Because your minds have given up unlimited functions and have become absorbed in me, Krishna, who gives himself to those who take shelter, by remembering me in this form constantly, very soon you will attain closeness to me, the form of Krishna. I am not independent in this regard. So he's saying that because your minds are completely absorbed in me, Krishna, very soon you will have that closeness to me. I will be in front of you as a form of Krishna. And then the gopis may say, if that is so, you will again show your whimsy and leave. And Krishna says, no, says to please them, this is eternal. I have done this impulsively, and it will not happen in the future. And Sanatana Goswami writes, the gopis may say, you should not stay in Mathura for a long time to accomplish that. And Krishna says, that is true. That is now accomplished. Understand that I have almost come. You will attain me eternally very soon. There will no longer be separation. And the gopis may say, being without power, we do not see the method. And Krishna says, your minds have given up unlimited desires and easily, naturally become absorbed in me, Krishna, who attracts your hearts. By your remembrance of me, I become attracted and will come here. There is no need for you to practice some other method. Thank you. Okay. So 2 things here in this verse that stood out to me. One is how Krishna is saying to the gopis, because your minds are completely absorbed in me. That is what pleases Krishna so much. It's what is Krishna's glorifying that your minds are completely absorbed in me, and you are always thinking about me. And then the second part of the verse is, so very soon I will be there again in your presence. And the actual Sanskrit word in this verse is Maya Veshya, which is absorbing your mind in me. Maya Veshya Mana. So I was remembering that in Bhagavad Gita, there are so many verses where Krishna talks about absorption in him. And also he promises that this process of bhakti yoga, very soon you will attain me. And I wanted to go through some of these verses of Bhagavad Gita. It is very encouraging to hear Krishna's promises that he will come. He will come if we practice this process with full determination, full faith, and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Sometimes, actually, we may feel like when we read about this is, how come Krishna left Vrindavan and never returned? But actually, Krishna did return multiple times, because in the Bhagavatam, there's not much description about that. There's just maybe slight clues to it. But if you read Rupa Goswami's Laghu Bhagavatamrita, there's many, many instances that he describes of how Krishna does return to Vrindavan multiple times. If you think about it, why would Krishna not return to his dearmost devotees who love him so much? And also, Uddhava promised, yes, Krishna will return. And if a devotee makes a promise, Krishna fulfills the promise of his devotees even more than his own promises, as we know from many examples. Krishna even says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, you declare it boldly, my devotee will never perish. Because Krishna knows that if his devotee promises something, then for sure it'll happen. Because Krishna loves his devotees so much that he will make sure it happens. So Krishna did return to Vrindavan. And first of all, he never left Vrindavan. Because Krishna, one of the qualities of Krishna is he never leaves Vrindavan. He is eternally present there. So when he steps out of Vrindavan, he changes into another aspect of Krishna, which is called Vasudev Krishna. And the Nandana Krishna, the one of Vrindavan, becomes invisible to the material vision. But the devotees in Vrindavan, they're constantly, because of their full absorption in Krishna, they're constantly seeing Krishna in front of their eyes because of their full absorption. Even though they're feeling separation and they feel he's not there, he's actually there in the aprakata form. That means not manifested. And then he's in Mathura and Dwarka in his Vasudev feature, which is the really royal aspect where he's, more official, and the devotees are offering awe and respect to him. In Vrindavan, there is not that. It's just intimacy and pure love for Krishna. So Krishna never takes a step out of Vrindavan, never ever leaves Vrindavan. But in the past time, it seems that he left Vrindavan, but then there's many, many instances where he returns to Vrindavan. And there's this book by Shivaram Swami, which is Krishna Sangati. And in this book, in the introduction, he explains all about how, even in Bhagavatam, there's references to how Krishna returns to Vrindavan. There's a verse in the Bhagavatam. O lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. These are the Dwarka Vasis, the residents of Dwarka talking. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless as if bereft of the sun. So they're actually saying whenever you go to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur. So that's definitely a reference that Krishna returns to Vrindavan. And then Rupa Goswami in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita, he writes that during the Lord's Prakata pastimes, the people of Vraja were separated from him for 3 months. Lord Krishna then reappeared among them and spent 3 months with them. So he's saying he did come back and he spent 3 months with them. Then he left again, and then he came back, and there was repeated coming and going to increase that separation and the union, separation and union, like waves. So this book of Shivaram Swami has many of those examples. he says he's just selected a few of the times where Krishna returned. And then Krishna left, returned, and left. And so it's just reconfirming the idea that Krishna actually never leaves his devotees. All of this is activities of Krishna to intensify their love, and they're in the mood of separation. But he never, ever leaves his devotees. Now I wanted to focus a little bit about absorption in Krishna, because we're following the process of bhakti yoga, and ultimately our goal is 24 hours a day to be absorbed in Krishna. And right now our minds mostly are absorbed in material things. Like we have to pull our mind back to think about Krishna. Whereas the pure devotees, they have to pull their mind away from Krishna. They can't even stop thinking about Krishna. Sometimes when the gopis are upset with Krishna, they'll say, Krishna, we want to stop thinking about you, but we can't, because they love Krishna so much that they can't stop thinking about Krishna. And for us conditioned souls, even though we're part of Krishna, Krishna loves us, we love Krishna, we have that intimate relationship with Krishna. But somehow, because of coming into the material existence, we've forgotten that relationship. And we are covered by the illusory energy of Krishna. And we got a material body, which we think is us. We have a material mind, which pulls us to try to enjoy our senses. We have a material intelligence, which is planning how to enjoy things in this material world. And we have the false ego, which makes us identify with this gross and subtle bodies. So we are in a state where our natural attraction is to material things. If we see a material object, my senses look at it, and then my mind says, oh yes, I want to enjoy it. And the intelligence plans how to enjoy it. So that's how our situation is in this material world. But the process of bhakti yoga is one of purification. That slowly what happens is that subtle body, that the identification with this material mind and intelligence will slowly go away. So that as we practice chanting and hearing about Krishna, the purification will happen to such an extent that those coverings will go away, and slowly we'll notice that our mind will go to Krishna more often. During the day, we'll think about Krishna, or we'll chant. Just the holy name will come on our tongue, or the image of Radha Golokananda will come in our minds. And it takes practice. It's not something that, it's definitely a practice. It's something to practice every day, to do that cleansing. I was thinking, actually, when I heard one lecture where the speaker was saying that, you know how iron filing immediately gets attracted to a magnet? So in that same way, because Krishna is all attractive, right? He's the magnet that attracts everybody. So why isn't it that we are immediately attracted to Krishna? It's because we have a layer of rust over us, like an iron filing that's full of rust, and that when it's covered with rust, it won't be attracted to the magnet. So the process of bhakti is removing that rust, so that at some point we'll just completely be attracted to Krishna, absorbed in Krishna. So there's some sections of Bhagavad Gita that I wanted to read, talking about this absorption, and in the purports we get little clues from Srila Prabhupada of how to do it practically. So one verse is 12.2, and it's the same Sanskrit word in the verse, Maya Vaishya, the same Sanskrit word that's used here, Maya Vaishya. Maya Vaishya mano ye mam nitya yukta upasate shradaya parayo petas te me yukta tamamataha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshiping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. So fixing their minds on Krishna's personal form. And in the purport, Prabhupada says, for one in such Krishna consciousness, there is no material activities because everything is done for Krishna. So how to fix the mind on Krishna? And Prabhupada is saying here, do everything for Krishna. And then he talks about how a pure devotee is constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, Sometimes he hears or reads books about Krishna. Sometimes he cooks prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna. Sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. So usually when we think of samadhi, which is the highest level of yoga, we think of someone in trance who's completely still and just absorbed in trance. But Prabhupada is saying here, this is samadhi. Doing activities, but being absorbed in Krishna while you do the activities. And he's saying a pure devotee is able to do constantly, engage his whole day in spiritual activities, completely absorbed in Krishna. Then there's another verse in, again, 12th chapter, 6 to 7 verse. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyena yogena mam dhyayanta upasate tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami na chirat parta maya veshita chetasam. Again, the same, maya veshita. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me. Now he's going to give a promise. Krishna's going to give a promise here. O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So he's promising that if you fix your minds on him in this process of bhakti yoga, Krishna will become the swift deliverer and save us from this ocean of birth and death. How many of you have seen the picture of the person in the ocean? He's drowning, this conditioned soul, and Vishnu is coming on a Garuda and reaching out his hand and saving that. You've seen that picture? I love that picture. It's so reassuring because we are struggling in this material world, but Krishna will come and reach out his hand and save us and pull us up. In the purport, Prabhupada says, one should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve him. One should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in, what do you think he's going to say? Do your activities and at the same time engage in, can anyone guess what it's going to be? Chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. Again, think of the iron filing going to the magnet, attraction. The holy name is that thing that removes the rust so that we become attracted to Krishna again. Right now we're in a diseased condition. It's like this disease that's jaundice, where you can't taste anything sweet. Even though you put some sugar on your tongue, it tastes bitter to you. Because you have the disease. It's not the problem with the sugar. The sugar is sweet. It's some problem in your body. So in the same way, we have a problem with the material conditioning. It's not the problem of Krishna. Krishna is all attractive, all sweet, and the holy name is all sweet. But right now when we chant, it's almost like, oh, I have to finish my rounds. I'm done. Like that kind of feeling. But by continuously chanting, this is the verse, Rupa Goswami's verse of Nectar of Instruction, by continuously chanting every day with as much attention as we can, then naturally the disease will go away and the holy name will become sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And at one point you'll be like, I don't want to put down my beads. This is the most pleasurable thing. I just want to keep chanting and chanting and chanting and chanting. Sometimes I've seen, like if you hear some of Prabhupada's interviews or he's having conversations with people, and then the microphone is kind of close to him, and in the gaps you'll hear Srila Prabhupada softly chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare. Prabhupada was constantly chanting, or if he's on a morning walk and there's gaps, he would be singing verses in between. Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, or some other verse that, or chanting. So he was constantly absorbed. Even if there was gaps in the day, he would fill it with the holy name, or some shlokas like that. The Supreme Lord herein promises that without delay, he will deliver a pure devotee thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. The Lord himself takes him. That's also really sweet. So Krishna could just send a representative to take us back. But Prabhupada is making the point a few times. He's stressing here. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord himself to take us back. Himself. He clearly states here that he himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. So imagine if we really believe that Krishna cares for us and he will take care of us. We'll be like the child who's completely dependent on the parent, who has no fears because he knows my parent is going to take care of me. So Krishna will take care of me. And not only will he take care of me through his energies, but personally, he's promising here, personally he will come. The Supreme Lord, by his great mercy, comes at once, riding on his bird carrier Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotees from this material existence. So how encouraging is that? We struggle so hard trying to adjust things in this material world, and it never works out. You try to adjust some aspect of your life that's not working so well, and another problem pops up. And then you try to fix that problem, and another problem pops up. It's just, that's the nature of this world. It's like the waves of the ocean. It's like trying to swim in the ocean. And even if you're the most expert swimmer, at one point your body will get exhausted, right? And you won't be able to do it anymore unless someone saves you. So Krishna is saying he will come himself and save us from this. And then two more promises in Bhagavad Gita. There's many promises that Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita, but two more that have the exact same two line startings. One is Bhagavad Gita 9:34, and one is 1865. And the first two lines are exactly the same. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. And then the third line is a little different, but the first word is the same. Mam evaishyasi yuktvaivam. And the other one is Mam evaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. And in these verses, Krishna is saying, Manmana, engage your mind in thinking about me. Madbhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. And Mam namaskaru, offer obeisances to me. So what are the four things? Think about me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer obeisances. So we can think in our day. We can have the checklist. Am I thinking of, did I think about Krishna even one time during the day? Okay. Am I trying to be a devotee of Krishna? Okay. Did I do some worship for Krishna? Maybe just offer an incense to a picture of Krishna, or there's different ways we can worship Krishna. Offer some food to Krishna. Namaskaru, did I offer obeisances? And if we're endeavoring with these things, these are the processes of bhakti yoga, then Krishna makes a promise. Mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam. Surely you will come to me. Surely you will come to me. So if Krishna is promising this, you will come to me without fail. And then Prabhupada's purport is really, really nice. He says, life should be so molded that one will always have the chance to think of Krishna. One should act always in such a way that all his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout the 24 hours he cannot but think of Krishna. And the Lord's promise is that anyone who is in such pure Krishna consciousness will certainly return to the abode of Krishna, where he will be engaged in the association of Krishna face to face. These words stress that one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna, the very form with two hands carrying a flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and peacock feathers in his hair. These are descriptions of Krishna found in the Brahma Samhita and other literatures. One should fix his mind on the original form of Krishna. One should not even divert one's attention to the other forms of Krishna. Prabhupada's saying here, like Vishnu, Narayan, Varaha, Ram. One should just focus on the two-handed form of Krishna in Vrindavan. Vrajendra Nandana Krishna. So, talking about absorbing our mind in Krishna and how Krishna is the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. And he promises that if we are endeavoring in this process of bhakti yoga, Krishna will come and save us. He will, like he's promising here to the gopis, because your minds are totally absorbed in me and free from all other engagements, you remember me always, and so you will very soon have me again in your presence. So the meditation for us is, how can I be more absorbed in Krishna in my day? Prabhupada says, try to mold your life in such a way that you can't not think of Krishna. So I used to meditate on that. How can I make my environment more suitable so that I remember Krishna? Maybe I can just put kirtan on more in my room, that just have it playing so I can hear the holy name. Maybe I can have pictures on the wall that when I look at I say, oh, there's Krishna. I can think about Krishna. And maybe in different rooms that I go into, I can have the books propped open, like Srimad Bhagavatam on a stand, and I go in the room and I read a verse from Bhagavatam. Maybe I can get in a habit of when I wake up, I chant the holy name, or when I go to sleep, I chant the holy name. And then somehow, if we, everyone has their different life, so everyone has to make up their own ways of how to do this, how to be more conscious of Krishna in our day. And we have to make an effort. It's not that it will come automatically. At first, we have to make this effort. And making that effort pleases Krishna. And Krishna will help us. He will give us inspiration of how we can do it more and more. I wanted to ask if anybody wanted to share anything, or any things that you would like to share or ask, or any comments, or anything that you do that helps you to meditate on Krishna more during the day, something that helps you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So the ideal position is someone that is completely engaged, right? In the temple, Mangalartik class, yes. Chanting, doing seva, right?
Yes.
What about someone that is outside, just dealing the outside world, working hard, right? So how that activity can be purified?
Yes. That's a very important point, because it's easy when we're in the environment, spiritual environment, but it's a little bit more challenging where we're in an environment where it's not conducive to remembering Krishna. It takes a little more effort, but it is possible. Prabhupada was saying in one of the purports that it doesn't matter what work you do. You can be in full samadhi. It doesn't matter. So there are tips that we can do, and that also may take some creativity. Like when we're in a work environment or in another situation. If it's possible to hear kirtan, if it's something that doesn't require, you could hear kirtan, or if it's possible to have a picture of Krishna on your desk. And another thing is, before we start the work, we can think about how to connect it to Krishna. Like, let's say we're doing a job and we need to make money. We can think, oh, Krishna, I'm going now for my work so I can make some extra Lakshmi to maintain this body in your service. And also I will offer some of that results to you. So before we start, we make it into a devotional service. Like, this work is also my service to you, Krishna. And then after we're done with the job, we thank Krishna, and we do the best we can in that work. And then we thank Krishna and offer some of the results to Krishna, if it's possible, like some of the monetary results, or even just the fact that we're taking care of our family or taking care of our needs so that we can serve Krishna. That's also devotional service. So it takes a little, yeah.
Sponsor the books.
Sponsor books, yeah, I give books. Actually, I really get inspired by your example of how you're always thinking about how to distribute prasadam wherever you go. That means that your mind is thinking about, who else can I give prasadam? So when you're absorbed in that way, that's another absorption. So that's wonderful, yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, people worked. The home could be a temple too. Yeah. Yes. Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Marhamatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Angani Yasa Sakalen Kriya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. 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 Govindam
Radha, this is page 61. Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore. 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 Jivane marane gati Ara nahi mora 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 kalendira kule keli kadambera vana kalendira Ratana bedira par Bosha bodujana Ratana bedira par Bosha bodujana Shama gori ange diva Chandanera ganda Chamara dulabo kabe Heri mukha chandra Gatiya malatir mala Dibodahar gale Malatir mala Adhare tuliya dibo Karpura tambule Lalita Vishakadi Jata Saki Vrinda Lalita Agyaya koribo sheba charanaravinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasirano Das Seva bhilasa kore Narotama dasa Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishore Na prana mora Jugala Kishore Jivane marane gati Aranahi mora Jivane marane gati Aranahi mora Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jai Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jai Giri Govardhan. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. The divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna, are my life and soul. In life or death, I have no other refuge but them. In a forest of small kadamba trees, on the bank of the Jamuna, seat the divine couple on the throne, made of brilliant jewels. I will anoint their dark and fair forms with sandalwood paste, scented with chuya, and I will fan them with a chamara whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moon-like faces? After stringing together garlands of mala tea flowers, I will place them around their necks And I will offer tabula scented with camphor to their lotus mouths. With the permission of all the Sakhis, headed by Lalita and Vishaka, I will serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Narottam Das, the servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, longs for the service to the divine couple. Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai.
Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Param Param Vijayatresi Krishna Sankirtanam Nanam Makari Bahuda Nijasava Saktis Tatar Pritani Amitas Marani Nakala Etadrishita Vakripam Bhagavam Mamapi Durdaivam Idrishaim Hajarina Nuraga Trinada Pisunityana Tarora Pisahijnuna Amanena Manadena Kirtanya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Jamani Jamanishvari Bhavata Bhakti Haitu Kitvaye Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Pachitamam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja Stita Dulisadri Samvichintaya Nayanan Galada Hrudaraya Vadanam Gargara Rudaya Gira Pulakai Nichitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahen Vishyati Jugahitam Nimishana Chakshusa Pravrisaitam Sunyaitam Jagasarvam Govinda Virahiname Ahlisha Vapadaratam Pinashtumam Adarshanam Mahmahatam Karotuva Jatatova Vidatato Lampato Maparanastat Svevana Paraha. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the ray of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It includes the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chant of the holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy name. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, think oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer our respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O my Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire a beautiful woman, nor do I want numbers of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O son of Maharajananda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hair on my body stand on the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feel your separation. I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling awakened in the world in your absence. I know no one but